Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Widner and I'm going to talk today about our two postgraduate taught creative writing programs at Strathclyde, so the MLitt and the MFA in creative writing. So along with Maria Sledmere, I'm the co-convener of our new MFA program at Strathclyde. And Maria helped script this presentation, so they are here in spirit. I also convene our very successful MLitt program and teach across all levels of English and creative writing. So today I'm going to talk to you about some of the different postgraduate routes that you can take in creative writing at Strathclyde. I'm also going to share with you what makes us special, which is our writing community, our flexibility in module choices, and our strong ties to arts organizations in Glasgow and beyond. So first off, credits. I know that the credit system can get a little confusing, but they do give a sense of how your time and study are divided between taught modules and more research-led elements, such as your extended creative portfolios, which are known as the major project on the MLitt and creative thesis on the MFA. So the MLitt, which stands for Master of Letters, is a one-year taught degree, and it consists of 6 20-credit modules and one 60-credit major project. The MFA, which is Master of Fine Arts, is a 2-year combined taught and research degree, and it consists of 8 20-credit modules and one 140-credit creative thesis. And I'll get into the exact structure of these degrees in a moment. Now, it's worth noting that both degrees can be taken either full or part-time. Right, so here's a visualization of some of the different routes you can take through creative writing studies. And what's important to note is the fact that you can be accepted for MLitt entry and apply to transfer onto the MFA program in the second semester of your master's degree. So you have to decide by April of that second semester. And that can be great for folks who aren't sure if they want to commit to a longer creative project and 2-year program just yet. It goes both ways too. So if you are enrolled on the MFA, but you decide actually I'd like to just do the MLitt, you can make that decision to switch to the MLitt at the end of your second semester. And if you're not sure what implications this might have for visas and other admissions issues, you can get in touch with our Humanities and Social Sciences PGT admissions team via email, and I've included that email at the end of this presentation. Now, another bridge opportunity in our degree structure is from MLitt or MFA to PhD. So some people may wish to take their academic work further. You might want to develop a book-length project with an accompanying critical commentary. So the PhD, which you can do in creative writing, is ideal for those who want to go into academia or a research-related role, or for those who have a strong research-led element to their creative practice. And it's just worth noting that you can apply for a PhD with either an MLitt or an MFA. The MLitt has long been at the core of our creative writing programming at Strathclyde. Many of our alumni are now published writers, from successful crime novelists to TV writers and poets. So our focus on the MLitt is on 6 forms, and our staff have various expertise in writing and teaching these forms. So the novel, the short story, creative nonfiction, either long or short form, poetry and screenwriting, plus any hybrid form which contains elements of any of the above, including multimedia forms. So this course is really for students who want to develop their creative writing practice while also learning industry-specific skills that will prepare them for the contemporary literary landscape. And the MLitt gives students the opportunity to either stick to one genre or to experiment and write across different genres and forms. So we don't divide students into different classes based on what form they write in. Everyone takes the same classes together. Now, over the year, we hope students will gain confidence in their writing, that they'll become familiar with different aspects of the creative industries, and that they'll become part of a lasting, vibrant community of writers and researchers. Right, so I'm going to walk you through what the structure of the MLitt looks like on a full-time basis. So this is 12 months full-time, and it's 24 months if you're taking the program part-time. So semester 1, the autumn semester, you'll take 3 core modules, which are Shape of Stories 1, The Writing Life, and The Writer's Studio. In the spring semester, you'll take 2 core modules, which are Shape of Stories 2 and the MADE project, and you'll take a 3rd optional module. And in the summer semester from May to August, you'll work on your major project. Now, this is your dissertation. It's an independent project, but you'll have the support of an academic supervisor throughout the summer, and they'll be a member of our creative writing team. Now, I just want to note here, so in semester 2, you can take a module from elsewhere in the Department of Humanities, so from subjects like history or gender studies. But we also have this very popular English and creative writing research placement module. And past students of this module have forged long-term relationships with local businesses and arts organizations, in some cases even going on to be employed by them. So having this professional industry-led teaching is really important to what we do at Strathclyde. And it's also woven through our core modules on the MLitt. So we'll have experts from the world of publishing, editing, and performance come in to talk to our students in class. Now, the major project, which is a 15,000-word dissertation, this often forms the basis of a longer publishable work that you can then take with you after you finish your degree, right? So this could be the first few chapters of a novel, it could be a complete poetry pamphlet or poems from a longer collection, episodes for a TV series, or something in between. Our faculty are all really experienced in their respective forms and genres, but many of us are multi-hyphenates, right? So we might write fiction and poetry. We might do screenwriting and creative nonfiction. So we're very supportive of students who work in a more hybrid mode. Right, so now for our new program, which is the MFA or Master of Fine Arts. So MFAs are relatively new in the UK context, and there is variation between research and taught versions of the degree. So at Strathclyde, our MFA is classified as a taught degree, but it has a strong research component in that in the second year, you'll be completing an extended piece of independent writing, and this will be supported by an expert supervisor in your area of writing. So what's great about the MFA is that you'll be strongly integrated with the cohort of writers on the MLitt and in the department more widely, especially if you choose to take an optional module from another subject in your first year. The idea is that these taught elements in your first year really prepare you for the research you're going to do in year 2. So the MFA is a 2-year degree. It's 24 months full-time, 48 months part-time. In the first year, you'll take pretty much the same modules up till the summer semester as the MLitt. So the same structure I just went through. But in the summer semester, instead of the major project, you'll take advanced topics in creative writing and research. So this module will better prepare you for establishing the critical and research-led context of your creative thesis in the second year. This will also be an independently researched project, but you'll work closely with a supervisor over the course of the semester. Now, in our second year, you will work on, across both semesters, the creative thesis. So this is a significant 35,000 word long piece of original creative work. You'll have 3 meetings in each semester with your supervisor, and you'll also take one of 2 taught modules, and that might be creative pedagogy or it might be communicating research, depending where your interests lie. So just a little bit about these. Creative pedagogy introduces students to the principles of teaching creative writing. So the MFA is recognized as a teaching qualification for higher education. So this module will prepare students for future employment in the creative industries and in education by teaching them how to plan and lead creative writing workshops and seminars, drawing on relevant pedagogical theory. Communicating research, on the other hand, is an innovative new module, and it'll offer students direct involvement in communicating research that's happening within the University of Strathclyde. So this is a really interdisciplinary module, and you'll get to think more about the role of writers in communicating academic research more broadly. Right, so what does this all actually look like on the ground? These are some of the learning activities you'll do on our postgraduate degrees. So things like lectures and seminars, interactive workshops with plenty of opportunities for peer feedback, one-to-one supervisions, co-taught interdisciplinary modules, student-led learning, industry engagement, networking and research culture, and practical skills development. So as you can see from this list, we approach creative writing really holistically. So we help you generate fresh work, edit it to a professional standard, but also situate it within a wider publishing and research environment and develop transferable skills along the way. And one of the things I like most about Strathclyde is our lively program of guest speakers at events that are sometimes open to the public and sometimes just in-class closed workshops. So I've put together a list here of some of our past visiting speakers, but you would expect to hear from all sorts of people from across the world of literature, so writers, but also perhaps agents, editors, and so on. Now, a lot of you might be wondering where your degree might take you. And aside from landing your dream publishing deal with a major press or agent, a big part of being a professional writer is taking your skills into arts organizations, commercial spaces, teaching spaces, or even contributing to the industry in a more practical way through roles in publishing or editing. So our MLitt graduates have gone on to have their writing published in various forms, but also to work in a number of fields such as film and television, education, PR, and marketing. And alumni have also pursued PhD study. So you can see here some examples of the different kinds of industries and roles that our previous students have taken on. Glasgow is also a really international city, so there are plenty of opportunities to network, to meet fellow creatives and professionals, both in and outside your degree. So we have a really lively open mic scene, arts and music scene, film, theater, and so on. So you'd be really spoiled for choice. Right, so now for the nitty-gritty, how to apply. So both of these courses have a rolling deadline. By that I mean there's no hard deadline, but we suggest applying no later than 2 months before the start of the course. And you can apply via the online portal on the relevant website. So I've listed the entry requirements here. We do require the submission of a satisfactory portfolio of creative writing, and this should consist of one of the following: 2,000 words of prose, up to 10 poems, the page equivalent of a short 15-minute play. And for the MLitt, you may also want to include an outline of creative work that you might develop over the course of the degree, possibly in the context of the major project. Now, I just want to mention that an MFA application will need to consist of both the creative portfolio and an outline of creative work, whereas the MLitt, it's just the creative portfolio that's necessary, but you are welcome to submit an outline of creative work as well. Right, so I've included some contact information here. So if you have any questions at all about the MLitt, you can get in touch with me via this email address, and there's a link to the MLitt website there, which has lots more information. Any queries about the MFA can go to Maria Sledmere at the email address there. And our website is not quite live yet, but we'll make sure to share a link when it does go live. If you have queries specific to admissions or scholarship, you can also email Humanities and Social Sciences postgraduate taught admissions at the email address there. And I've also included a link to all scholarships and funding opportunities at the university. So thank you so much for listening, and I do hope to hear from you with any questions about our creative writing postgraduate taught degrees. Thank you.